Hey, 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 it's Letitia Hopkins, founder of Encourage Over Everything and your podcast host for the Encourage Over Everything show. I am so excited to connect with you today because I'm stepping out on a limb here. I am stepping so far beyond my introvert comfort zone, and I'm actually doing this video style today. So if you are listening to this podcast and maybe you're on Spotify or even checking it out on Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast, just know that there is a video version right on my YouTube page. There will be a link down below in the show notes to get you connected, and you can come and check this video thing out, okay? So go easy on your girl, okay? Because I am an introvert in my core, okay? But I love connecting with you, and I want to step it up and start connecting in more major ways. And it don't get no more major than this, honey. So we are going to start having video episodes for the podcast. I'm so excited. Okay. I got a question and I want to answer it for everybody here because I felt like this was a prime topic for the show. The question is, how do I know my relationship is worth saving? Honey, this is a loaded question, okay? It gets loaded, but we are going to take it one step at a time. We're doing this together. So just know that I am here sending big virtual hugs and I'm with you every step of the way while we explore this question some more. First things first, let's just acknowledge this is a scary question. I understand that it comes with a lot of doubt. You may be experiencing some fear, wondering if you're, even making the right decision. And with that can come a lot of weight. I know that you may even be emotionally exhausted because there has probably been a lot that's gotten you to this place where you feel like you're at a crossroads. Cue in Bone Thugs and Harmony, okay? It works in music lyrics, okay. So just acknowledge what you're feeling right now in this space and honor those feelings because as hard or as uncomfortable as they may be, these are really just signals letting you know that something isn't right. And it's trying to bring your attention to what's happening right now, not just within your relationship, but also what's happening within you. It's letting you know that there's a disconnect. So let's explore what else these feelings might be showing you. And if you've been listening to the podcast for all these episodes, honey, we are over 200 deep. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, then you know I always encourage you to whip out your journal, okay? Whip out your journal and take note because your feelings are really just, they're like giving you directional signals. They're trying to point you in a direction, they're trying to show you something. And for as painful sometimes as it can be to sit in our emotions and just understand what they're really saying to us, it's an amazing time to actually journal through those thoughts and those feelings and your emotions so that you can get some clarity there. Because first, you really have to understand what's happening within you. What is this disconnect really pointing out to you? It's bigger than just your relationship with your partner. It's also a reflection of your relationship with you. So really take some time to journal about this. That's a really good place to start. And in doing that, it will really help to give you the clarity that you need. It's a great time to explore your own personal values and your relationship goals. Because in order to even understand if this relationship is worth saving or worth pursuing, you have to be clear on what your values are. Now, listen, when we start talking about values, it can definitely be the values that you came into this relationship with. And sometimes those values may have changed because of life experience or even just experiences within your relationship that have shown you that there are certain values that are now extremely important to you before, even if they weren't so important to you in the beginning of your relationship. So, whether these are new values or these are just your foundational values, and maybe you just have taken your eyes off of them for a little while because you've just been out here living life, honey. That is totally fine. Use this as an opportunity to reconnect with your values and your ultimate relationship goals. One thing that I've seen happen time and time again with not only myself, but even my clients, sometimes we have relationship goals that are not aligned with the goals of our partner. And this is the place where you want to take that pause and reflect and think about ultimately, what are your relationship goals? Do you both have the same values? Do you both have the same relationship goals in mind? For me, what came up in this space in a previous relationship was I really had my eyes set on being married, having a family, and he was just totally fine with it just being us. Like, the companionship of the relationship was perfect for him. That's all that he really wanted. But I wanted more than that. And because we had different relationship goals, initially I spent a lot of time, too much time, honey, trying to convince him that, getting married and having a family, that was the way to go. That was the way to be. And, of course, companionship is definitely a part of that. But then meanwhile, while I was over here trying to convince him that my goals were what we should work towards, he was also trying to convince me that, you know what, you don't really need all that. It's cool with just us. But at some point, I really had to sit back and realize we just have two different ideas on what our relationship goals are. His weren't right or wrong, mine's weren't right or wrong. Those were just the goals that were right for us individually. But collectively, as a couple, we disagreed. And that was okay. It just meant that that relationship could not continue because we didn't have the same relationship goals. And as hard as that may be to acknowledge, to accept, and to really honor, to not only honor what your relationship goals are, but also to honor your partner and their relationship goals. Because you may not be the one that is aligned with those goals. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's really just about recognizing what's in alignment and what's just not in alignment. And then making a decision to move forward in a way that is mutually beneficial for everybody. And sometimes that does mean that the relationship cannot continue. And if you do come to that place, and I'm kind of moving a little ahead here, but since we're here, if you do come to that place, it is not a bad place to be in. It just means that you are willing to let go of what is not aligned with you in order to have your hands open and available to receive what is in alignment with you. So, for as much as it can be really difficult to think about what you may lose, there is so much more to be gained. So, really take this time to really reflect and think about your own personal values, the goals that you have for the relationship that you really desire, and take into consideration where your partner stands in those areas. And if you all are aligned, or if there are some misalignments that really either can be worked through or not. This is the time to just be honest with yourself so that you can also be honest with your partner. Another great thing to really consider is, does this person support the person I am and the person that I'm becoming. I really want to explore this because so many times I have seen where the partner is not necessarily the person that can support who you are and who you're becoming. You know, change is inevitable. And while so much of ourselves stay the same, like I still have the same favorite ice cream from when I was a little girl, still Rocky Road. But that doesn't mean that I don't also enjoy some other flavors. You know what I mean? So even though there are things about us that can remain the same for the test of time, there can also be things that change because we have different experiences in life that just cause us to grow and evolve. And I can honestly say that prior to my husband, there was no one in my life who would have been able to support the person that I am today and the person that I am continuing to become. He is someone who sees the best in me, and that inspires me also to want to continue to be the best of who I am. And that is one of the things that becomes evident, that he supports who I am and also who I'm becoming. I feel like I'm becoming more of myself every day. That's a really great question to ask yourself. Do you feel like you are becoming your best self? Are you being your best self today? You know, for as much as I am a self discovery, personal development lover, we talk a lot about becoming and who we're growing into, but the best of you is also here right now. So, does the person that you're with help to bring out the best in you? Do they see the best in you? If you were to look 10,000 dinners down the road, would they still be supporting the best of you and who you continue to become? Because there are some people who are just not equipped or have the capacity to support the best parts of ourselves and the continued growth and us continuing to tap into that unlimited well of potential. And it's important to know if your partner is really the one who's meant to hold you as you continue to evolve into your best today, tomorrow, and every day going forward. So, really think about, is this person really equipped to handle and hold the best of me and even the worst of me? Because we're all growing, we're flawed, we're all going to make mistakes, we're all human. So that also is something to take into consideration. And the same for you as a partner. Can you really hold the best of who they are and the best of who they are yet to become? Can you really support them in their evolution as a human? It's so important for us also to be able to have that capacity to be able to do that for our partners. So ask yourself those questions, really journal about this, and just be honest. Let it flow without judgment, without criticism, without expecting perfection. No expectations, just let it flow. And truth be told, relationships, we all know they can have their own sets of challenges. And sometimes you just may not be equipped to work through those challenges on your own. So seek help whenever you feel like help is needed, especially if you feel like you've hit a brick wall, you just don't know what else to do. Seek help, whether that's therapy, a coach, a counselor. Seek support because you don't have to go at your relationship alone. And it doesn't have to be something that just you and your partner struggle with without any support. You can absolutely be supported in your journey as a couple. So seek assistance. We are in the land and the time of resources, honey. So tap into some resources that are available to you to give you the support that you need to be able to move through this as best as possible. And in doing so, all of these things will really help you get to a place where you can make a decision that will be best for you as individuals as well as collectively as a couple. I hope that you have found something in this episode that will give you some pause and allow you to reflect and get to the core of what you feel your truth is. Because the only two people who can really decide if your relationship is worth saving is you and the person you're with. And I hope that you will take this time to not just look at everything that's wrong in your relationship, but also take time to look at what's right in you and your partner. And give yourself some credit because it takes time, effort, and energy, your own special brew of tea, to make a relationship what it is. And I hope that in this episode, you have felt supported in having some new perspective in how you can actually start to shift and make decisions that support not only who you are today, but also who you're becoming, and also who you're becoming collectively as a couple. And whether that's together or going on your own separate ways, I want you to make a decision that is best aligned with the best for you and the best for the two of you. So I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. This is fun. I get this little video thing. Okay. I'd love to hear from you and send in some questions because one of my favorite things is just answering your questions and giving you a little insight and some new perspective on ways to think through these questions because we often think of things like we already done, you are ready to quit and give up. And sometimes there's that tug of war between staying and going. But I hope that this has given you a different way, a different lens to look at this so that you can actually make a decision that's best aligned with your values and your relationship goals. So I hope that you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Feel free if you are catching this on Spotify. There's always a question and there's always a poll. And if you participate, you have a chance to be shown in my Instagram stories. So make sure that you check this episode out on Spotify. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're going through, because I love nothing more than to support you. Because together we can encourage over everything. Sending love.